There's one interesting thing that I was actually commenting about on my channel about someone mentioning about companies actually creating CRT display, new CRT displays that, for example, we retro gamers can actually enjoy. This is highly discussed. There are many rumors and stuff, but I decided to let AI do really in-depth research and different sources, different AIs to aggregate information, and it doesn't seem that I'm not optimistic, let's say it like that. So for the dedicated retro gamer, I'm pretty sure that the search for a new high-quality cathode ray tube CRT is kind of an obsession, right? We want to get really high-quality one that will last us for many years. And many people, of course, search for the Sony Trinitrons and PVM and PVMs and want their TV to be of a high quality they can enjoy for many years to come. But as of the time making this video, there's no commercial manufacturing of new, and I'm saying new, consumer-grade CRT televisions or computer monitors anywhere in the world. If you know, by the way, let me know in the comment section below. The massive industrial infrastructure needed to produce color picture tubes, the continuous melt glass furnaces, and the chemical phosphor lines was systematically dismantled between 2008 and 2012. The CRT is not extinct, but it survives in what can be called a zombie state, serving a niche high-cost sectors. Now, to understand why new consumer CRTs are, well, I say impossible, but close to impossible, we must look beyond consumer demand. So the switch from CRT to LCD was a total liquidation of industrial capacity centered on two insurmountable barriers, glass and regulation. So first, the glass. CRT requires heavily leaded glass to block X-rays. The glass was produced in continuous melt furnaces that run 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and once a furnace is stopped or frozen, the molten glass solidifies and destroys the lining, requires a complete multi-million-dollar rebuild. When major suppliers like Corning and Ashe Glass shut down, the raw material supply for new tubes effectively ended. Second, the regulation wall. Producing new CRTs today would likely violate strict environmental laws like RoHS in Europe and similar EPA rules in US. This is due to the sheer volume of lead oxide required to each unit. The economic cost of running massive continuous furnace for a niche market for only a few thousand buyers is simply unfeasible, with the capital cost exceeding $100 million. Now, the current CRT market is defined by the critical distinction, manufacturing versus assembly. So when it comes to manufacturing or true manufacturing, this process, which creates the glass tube from raw materials, is limited to a single key player in the Western world, Thomas Electronics of the US and France. They exclusively manufacture high specialized CRTs for military and aerospace sector, so such as avionics display for the F-16 and C-130. They are a vertically integrated company, building every component in-house. However, these units are strictly B2B or B2G. They are not for sale for individuals. And the unit cost for a single tube rebuild can range between $20,000 to over $30,000 US. When it comes to the assembly economy, this is where the majority of, again, new in quotation, CRTs for industrial and arcade markets originate. Companies like Dotronics in the US and Taiwanese firm like Weya and their associated brand MacVision are high-end system integrators. They build new electronic chassis and enclosures, but they populate them with tubes manufactured years or decades ago, known as new old stock or NOS. Now, Dotronics serves industrial clients like airports and medical facilities, and the 27-inch unit can cost a gamer between $2,000 and $2,500 US. Now, Weya and MacVision serve the arcade market. The new monitors consist of a NOS tube, often the ASEAN stockpiles like Chunghwa picture tubes, paired with the newly manufactured universal chassis. They are more accessible, often costing between $400 and $800 US, but the quality often lags behind the golden age of Japanese tubes like Sony Trinitrons. Crucially, the supply of these NOS tubes is finite and shrinking. So with the new manufacturing out of the question, most probably, the strategy for retro gaming enthusiasts must shift from production to preservation. So what are basically recommendations that we can have in this situation? Well, maybe abandon the hope. Waiting for a new consumer CRT factory is maybe kind of pointless. I mean, the economic and environmental barriers are insurmountable. And the best new CRT, new again in quotation, let's call it new, is a well-maintained high-end set from the secondary market, such as Sony Trinitron or professional PVM, BVM monitor. So investing in refurbishment services like recapping, replacing, for example, aging capacitors, and calibration in the most viable path to extend the life of existing tubes might be also a good option. Commercial services for regunning. This is indefinitely extending the tube's life by replacing the electron gun. These are virtually non-existent today. So with the last major commercial rebuilder having closed in 2013, this is a problem. So we need to acknowledge this limitation. So many actually embrace hybrid tech. I mean, as existing tubes inevitably fail, the tube lies in simulation technologies. Innovation are emerging, such as 4K OLED panels using black frame insertion and refresh cycle shaders to emulate the rolling scan and motion clarity that were once the exclusive domain of cathode ray tube or CRTs. CRT is no longer a commodity, it's a heritage artifact. The industry has moved from mass production to careful preservation. The gamer strategy must shift accordingly. But yeah, never say never, but based on the different researches that I read and read them thoroughly, I'm not really that optimistic. And when people saying there's something new, usually it's not something new, it relies on, on stock that is just continuously depleting. And basically lots of these new ones are actually kind of refurbished in a way. But I don't know, maybe there's a hope somewhere that we see something like that. But based on all this research, we're going to see exactly, CRT display making a comeback is very, very, very high likely, maybe even close to impossible. But I want to hear your thoughts. Maybe you have some more insights and discoveries that I haven't found, or not me, just basically the very in-depth AR researchers that I made found. Waiting for your comments below. Thanks for watching.